And so it ended. It ended.
It's over.
It finished. I've got opinions. What do you think?
I really, really liked it. So this is our part 2 of our Scream Queens review.
And now it's finished. We know who the killer is, and I believe we could put in a little small clip here of me saying who it is.
Again, maybe we'll do a part 2 once the whole series is over, what we thought of the finale and the series as a whole.
How, you know, when we found out that Hester is the killer. Wow. Thanks, guys. You eat your words on that.
I don't think she is, but okay.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please.
Pooh belly.
You're a poo head.
Okay, so you called it.
It was Hester. It was so Hester the whole way through.
I absolutely loved the finale. What did you think?
I've got a theory about Scream Queens, and I don't believe that the sort of complexity of the storyline married very well with the absurdity of the comedy, because I think that it was so ridiculous and that lended itself to the comedy. It was hilarious. It was like the funnest thing in the world. But I think it was so ridiculous that it could have been anyone else and you still would have been like, oh, okay, that was the killer. Like, by the end, it was
what do you mean? You think that the conclusion
it could have been any of them.
Simple. They could have done something more ridiculous.
It could have been. It's like one of those movies where there's like 5 different endings, and it's like, well, I don't care because clearly it could have been any of them.
Yeah.
So I don't really care. I did a student project once, and I didn't really want to go with it because I thought the idea was so stupid. It was these 2 guys in masks, and one had a bear mask and one had a lion mask, and it was the guy who wrote it was such an ass, and he was like, okay, so which one's going to be the killer? And in the end, it was like the guy in the bear mask, and I was like, well, who cares? What if it happens with the other guy? Is the reaction going to be any different? No, you know what I mean? Like, interchangeable. It was so ridiculous. It could have been anyone. It could have been a tree that was the killer.
So what? What? I don't understand what the fuck your point is.
It just wasn't a very satisfying ending.
I thought it was very satisfying. Why does it matter? You've not told me about this before. Why does it matter that the killer could have been interchangeable with anyone else? People do that all the time. They record multiple endings, like soaps do it all the time.
It's so boring though.
Why is it boring?
Because I think it's cheating. I think it's like, it's cheating. I think it's like Lost. Like they just wrote it as they went through it, and it could have been any ending.
I liked Lost.
Well, there you go. I thought the ending of Lost was cheating.
I think you need to get that stick out your ass. Stop taking it so seriously. Because the entire point of it is not to take it seriously. I think you wanted too much out of it.
No, listen, I thought
fun.
it was...
It was stupid.
It is one of the funniest things.
That it didn't make me... It didn't shock me at the end, or... I don't care.
But that's
like,
the entire
I was very
premise
satisfied
of
with
the
it.
series. From the word go is, who is this killer? Listen, okay, that aside, I think it's one of the funniest things that's been on TV in so long. I think my standouts were Jamie Lee Curtis and Denise Henfield of Secure Enforcement Solutions.
I think they got very lucky with the whole cast. I was upset that we didn't see more of Kiki Palmer. I really, really liked her. But
she was in it a fair amount.
Well, not as much as she should have been.
She didn't really showcase her talents as much as she could have. It's a fairly boring character.
Also, I'm kind of upset that they didn't kill off more people at the end, because Ryan Murphy alluded to the idea that he was going to kill off everyone, but maybe three or four characters.
That ending,
and pretty much everyone was alive at the end, and it was also quite self-contained. And I wanted it to be more, like they could expand it more. I know that the final scene was a big cliffhanger.
That was also stupid, because because you think it's wrapped up and you think Hester is done with it. Was it Hester? Was it someone else? It's like attaching, it was all a dream on the end. Like they can just add and change things. It's like retroactive continuity. In the next season it might be...
So what?
Because I really like a murder mystery, and I like it to be... I like Agatha
Well, you're
Christie.
watching the wrong show.
Well, it's all about murder.
Wrong show.
Okay, let's just agree to disagree.
I would have loved it if they did. If someone woke up and it was all a dream and it was just Death Taylor Swift dreaming the whole thing up. That would have been fucking genius.
No, that would not have been good.
Funny.
That would not have been
good. And you would have hated it.
Yes. I think one of the best things, and it was worth watching the whole thing for, was the scene at the end where Denise says goodbye to, what's his name, Chad Radwell.
That was really, really good.
And she's like walking away, and does he ask to see her ass, or she's like, get a piece of this, and she sort of turns around and shows her ass, and he just can't take it. That was gold. Like, that was absolute comedic genius.
I thought all of it was amazing.
And I should know.
Right. I would love a season 2. I would love it if they had if it was completely new and unrelated to season 1, that's what I would like.
You say they lucked out with the cast, but Emma Roberts is just always there. She's a stock character. She's just sort of bitchy teenage girl.
I can't understand how many times I can say this in this video, but so what? Like, who cares? She's the perfect stock character.
Out, did they, with her? I don't know if I like Emma Roberts.
Just so good together. I thought everyone was so good together. I thought the Chanels were brilliant together.
There's something in me that was slightly disappointed by the end. But I'm not as hyped for another season. I know there will be one. I know we'll watch it. Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Cheers, thanks, mate.
Oh, it's part of your head
souffle. Head turd? I can't believe you just called it a head turd.
It's like a little purple turd.
It's beautiful. Jamie Lee Curtis clearly wouldn't sign on to do it again. She was clearly just a one-off.
Yeah, I can't see her doing it again.
And that's sad because she was one of the best ones.
I think everyone else would though.
I really hope that Abigail Breslin doesn't, because she's such a waste. That character was shit.
I didn't like, the one thing that I really didn't like about the season as a whole was how they shamelessly used A-listers such as Nick Jonas and Ariana Grande to try and pull people towards the show when they clearly signed on for like about a page worth of script.
So what, Nova? So what?
That was the one thing I didn't like, because I really liked the characters. They could have easily been expanded upon more. I would have even preferred it if they were switched out for like just random actors and actresses.
This is what I was saying to you the other day.
That was my only thing.
That movie Sparkle. Clearly everyone watched it for Whitney Houston. She has one crappy song and her character's kind of throwaway. It's exploitative. Same thing. Would you not agree?
Well,
they stick them front and centre. Come and see your favourite stars.
This is why. Yeah. Why were they?
And you get Jordan
They're
Sparks.
Clearly supporting characters at best. But when they were promoting the show, they were right at the forefront. And I understand that part of it is that they didn't want to spoil who dies. Like, if they weren't there, people would just assume that they were going to die early.
It was cheap.
But it was really, really cheeky, I think. I didn't like that.
But overall then, what would you give it out of 10?
I would give it, for a first season, I'd give it an 8.
Solid 7.
I'd give it an 8. Because I loved the music, I loved just the atmosphere it created. I did like the characters, but...
I didn't love that scene at the end where the parents came in and disowned them all, and there was so much explaining of things, and you lost track. I lost track of stuff.
I think the whole point was it's supposed to be almost a bit like Rocky Horror, where people come in and it's like, it's just word vomit, and then people are just talking back and forth to each other. Blah, 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 blah. There's so many scenes like that in Rocky Horror, and I think that's what it was trying to like allude to.
So why don't you come around? That was so good, wasn't it? Anticipation.
That's not the parts I was talking about.
I don't remember it very well. Just Tim Curry's the best. Large nipples. Okay, so thanks for watching, everyone.
Comment down below what you thought of the show, if you watched it, if you didn't watch it, and do you agree with either of our opinions?
Yes.
Probably mine.
Probably mine. Alright, thanks for viewing, everyone. Subscribe, social media's in the description below.
Bye.
Cracking white knuckles.